So we are kicking off season 2 of Youth Ministry Insights with how to come up with some creative ideas and how to make youth ministry fun. Well, welcome back to Youth Ministry Insights. So good to have you back. And if you're like me out here on the East Coast, we are just getting back into school, getting back into the swing of things. And youth ministry, at least for me, starts to really rev up in September to go right into the school year. Now, I know things might be a little different for you right now, as they are for me during the pandemic and what we're kind of going through and how we can have ministries, but do the best possible to make your ministries fun and come up with some really good, fun ideas. And to do that, I want to tell you that you do not need to rack your brain. Don't go crazy. Sometimes a little simpler is better, but sometimes you have great resources just right at your fingertips. Resource number 1, our Heavenly Father above, right? Sometimes I think we try to just do this all on our own, but we don't always have to. Actually, God doesn't want us to. He wants us to come to Him. And aren't we trying to share that with our youth, actually, to do that? So why not do it ourselves? If you're having a hard time coming up with ideas, coming up with ways to minister, first take it to prayer. Ask God to help you, and I promise you He will. Some of my best ideas, actually, all of my good ideas, did not come from me, but give credit where credit's due, from the Lord. Second, you have great resources right at your fingertips, the youth themselves. If you haven't already set up a core team, little spoiler alert, my next episode will have information all about that. It's all about core team leadership. But if you don't have a core team set of leaders, get one, because they are great resources, great help, and a great way to really lead the youth closer to Christ and also deepen their faith. Additionally, raise them up as leaders. And so those core team leaders have come up with great ideas for my ministries, and that's where a lot of them come from. The only thing is sometimes they aren't always realistic, right? We know as adults, we take into budget into consideration. We take into meeting space. Do we need drivers? Do we need permission forms? Do we need whatever resources at that time? And so while our ideas are really good and creative, sometimes they're a little far out there for us actually to make manageable. And so we need to finesse them a little bit, kind of tweak them. And the other thing I found is that while a lot of times they have really great ideas, sometimes, or just we have good ideas, right? Sometimes they aren't always just super Catholic and incorporate the faith. And what are we? We are a youth ministry. And so we need to always make sure that our meetings do incorporate the faith somehow, some way. And so what I mean by this is there's 2 ways that I do ministries. The first is kind of taking something fun and incorporating the faith. And so we do a kickoff every year, and we always have different fun experiences. I think I talked about our kickoffs on a previous episode. This year's is going to be Water Wars and the Spiritual War. So we'll have some fun things like this huge inflatable log flume slide that I ordered to rent. Also a water balloon fight, relay races that incorporate water. We have a dunk tank. We're going to have a core team member in there that you can dunk. All different water aspects because we're going straight outside with it. And then we also are having the spiritual war. And so we're going to talk about protecting yourself, saying prayers that are going to help you during spiritual warfare, saying rosaries, wearing a scapular, how to protect yourself in the spiritual life, because it is a spiritual battle. There's one who loves us and cares for us, and there's one who really wants to do anything possible to take us away from that love of God. And so it's a battle. And so how to prepare for that battle, right? We read about in Ephesians, the armor of Christ, how to put on that armor of Christ. And so those are some of the ways we incorporate the faith with some things that are fun. Other ways, St. Patrick's Day, we could talk all about who he was as a great saint, how really what he was all about is not what St. Patrick's Day is about today. And then we incorporate some fun. We make Irish potatoes, those little candy potatoes that everybody loves. The kids love them. They're amazing. I love them. Other ways we have done it before is having scavenger hunts, but again, incorporating the faith. And we've done them different ways on Snapchat. We've done them with photos, videos, just fun, different ways to collect things. This upcoming one that we are doing is just a scavenger hunt throughout our entire church campus of over 25 statues, shrines, holy images, and clues taking you from one to the next and learning about those different statues, saints, images that are all around our church campus that maybe you've passed 25 times, but you never knew who it was. That is how we incorporate faith and fun. Now, the other way I do it is 50-50. 50 social fun, other 50 really get down to the catechesis and teachings of our church. And what youth really need is to have somebody that listens to them and have someone that can give them really good advice, sharing, learning from their peers. We do this at an evening once a week called Spiritual Guidance. It starts off for the first half hour of just hanging out, having pizza, enjoying each other's company, social time, throwing the football around, having fun, just enjoying their friendships. Then we separate guys and girls usually. I lead the girls. Our priest, our pastor, father leads the guys. And we have different topics of faith that we share every single week. We always try to get the youth talking because they need to talk. They need to be heard. And if they're not one that is inclined to talk, really encouraging that and encouraging the others to share too. So I usually pose questions and make them each go around and talk about it. We have a topic of conversation, all different ones. Everything from current events to being pro-life to the different teachings of our church that could be difficult. We really do talk and share about them. And it really does teach them the faith. And then the second half hour, or the last half hour, we call it second half hour because it's after the first one, later on in the evening, is just, again, hanging out, talking, being with their friends. So it's totally 50-50. I want to say to you is that don't be afraid to teach the teachings of the Catholic Church, but give them what the world can't give them, and that's our faith. The world can give them everything that they might think is fun, but what we have is truly true fun, true holiness, and true teachings of our church. So don't be afraid to give that, and in giving that, you're going to touch the hearts, which touch the souls of the youth. God bless.